Welcome to Brew Talk. In this episode, we are talking hydrometers. You heard me. This little bit of glass tubing thing is called a hydrometer. But this thing is rather hard to explain, so I'm going to make a two-part video for this. I hope you understand, because there's a lot of information about this little glass floaty tube. But guess what? If you need to know your gravity, you need to know how much alcohol you want to produce, you want to know when it's safe to bottle, this is what you're going to need. So I'm going to crack open a drink, then we're going to talk brew theory. It's going to be good. But today though, I think for a refreshing cider. What I'm going to make in my next upcoming video. So that's after we get through this brew theory. Booyah. Oh, I love this side of me. Whoa, it fizzed. You minx. There's with luxury. Apple nectar of the gods. Lovely. So now I've got a drink. Let's talk brew talk. I mean, look at that carbonation. That is lovely. So, I get straight. I'm a big fan of fizzy drinks. Would have thought, right? Everybody who brews beer, or is a hobbyist, who wants to make their beer on their free time, or make some beer, wine, or even cider, need a hydrometer. As you can see, it's a glass tube, where it's got a hollow at the bottom, which with a weight. Yeah, it's weighted, so it sinks down in your glass. Yeah, you need it. So I had things to explain, so I'll do my best and keep it as simple as I can, I promise. So let's do this. A bit more swig of motivation. Ooh, lovely. Now, it's weighted at the bottom, you see. So I'm going to get a shot of that. It's made of glass. So if you drop them, they will break. Now on this shot, you'll see 2 pint glasses. 1 pint glass has water, that's normal tap water, nothing too special at all. In the other glass, you'll see sugar water. The sugar water will have a higher gravity than the plain tap water will. So, let's zoom out a bit. And let's do some brew theory, shall we? Now you're thinking, what is gravity, right? Gravity is the density of the water. Sugars, any kind of sugars makes anything thicker. Like when you're cooking, you thicken your sauce with things that are known to thicken it with flour. Water has a gravity of 1000 on a hydrometer. That is neutral, that is water. And that should be close to your final gravity when you're fermenting. Now, the sugar water is going to have a much higher gravity. Basically, in real basic sense, gravity is something that makes the water thicker. Like sugars, like hops, like brew ingredients, is how it works. Things get thicker when they're combined into it and dissolved. Now, here we have the hydrometer. You see it? Now, watch this. I'm going to put it in the pint of water. As you see, the part which is yellow on my hydrometer is floating there. Let's double check, shall we? Whoop, up it goes again. On my hydrometer, yellow is 1000. What if I can get a shot of that? Nah, I don't think I can. It's okay. I'll take my word for it. Yellow is 1000. Now, the hydrometer is now going to go into the sugar water. Look at the difference. It's at least an inch higher. Oh yeah. It's past, because on my hydrometer, yellow is safe. Red is too high. That will make bottle bombs. Bottles will be exploding if you bottle them anything past the red. Now to make the point more precise, shall we? I'm going to put more sugar into there and make the gravity higher. Oh yeah. You know what? I was sounding like my science teacher when I was in school. But you know what? This is brew theory. It's a theory of brewing. Now let's give a quick stir. This is basically what the your brew mixture on your water is going to be like. It ain't going to be just water. It is a demonstration of gravity. Now, watch this. It should go even higher than before. Look at that. It's now reading at 1030 on my hydrometer. The average beer, the original gravity, the OG, will be between 140 and 160. For wine, you're looking at 170 to 190. Now for cider, you'll be anywhere, depends on how high your gravity is, between 130 and 170. But I have had cider go higher. That stuff's about 9% ABV. So it weren't for kids' house rocket fuel. Yeah. Now you see that, look, it pops down. And the more sugar I add, the higher it's going to read. Welcome to gravity. The density of the water is by how much sugar is present. Be it starch sugars, be it granulated sugar, be it any kind of sugar. It's going to make it denser. Now, there's one little caveat I want to throw in there. Okay? When you're brewing beers, your final gravity is about 1006 to 1012. That is completely safe. And for cider, you're going to end up roughly 1006 range to 1012. If you're like 1015, 1020, 1000 whatever, leave it. Let it ferment some more, okay? Anything below 1010 is considered safe. But some things are different. And wine is a big example. With wine, a sweet wine is going to end about 1014. That's cool. But then again, a dry wine is going to end up below 1000. Yeah, you heard me. A dry wine is going to read anywhere between 990 and 999. But rule of thumb with bottles of wine. Bottle wine when it's at 1010, 1009. You're a lot safer. Less chance of bottles exploding because the fermentation is still going on. Now I've covered safe temperatures. Temperatures. Wow. I derped up. That was the gravity readings. Safe gravity readings. And I told you how much the average starting OG is. Now, OG and FG are basically used to making a brew log. With a brew log, you write a bit of paper. The start date, when you started brewing this drink. With the OG, the original gravity, the original density of liquid. Now with that, you know when you started it and how long it's been fermenting for. Oh yeah. Usually brews last between 6 to 8 days. So you know when you started it, you can't forget when you started brewing. So make a brew log. When your brew has slowed down, your airlock has calmed down, you're not producing as many bubbles. Yeah. Take your FG, which means get a pint glass, get a trial jar, or do I do put it into a pint glass, or just drop it straight into your fermentation vat, if you can get it out of course. Then write down your FG on your brew log. With the FG, you can then work out how much alcohol you've produced. You can do that. The hydrometer is a very powerful tool and it should be used. I'll give you the calculation. I'll put in the description of this video. It's easier to write it down than actually say it with words because, you know what, maths written is easier than maths said. So basically, let's break it down. Gravity is how much sugar you have in your brew. Yeast consume the sugars and make alcohol. So your gravity is going to be lower because the yeast have eaten all the sugar and replaced it with alcohol. But that's when we go into the next video on brew theory, which is fermentation. And luckily, it's much easier than explaining a bloody hydrometer, because these things are a pain in the arse, but they're a necessity. You have to use them. It makes your life a lot safer. I'll explain the relationship of fermentation with the hydrometer in the next video. Hope this has helped you out, but don't be afraid to ask or put comments or question me with personal messages, because I don't want to hear stories of people having bottles explode. So if you've got any questions, shoot me a message, please. So I don't want nobody having accidents, okay? So let's get this. So this is the hydrometer. I'm sorry for the grammatical mistakes I made, but I corrected them on this video. So it's now 3 o'clock in the morning in England. Booyah. Brew talk. Brew theory. I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a nice evening, morning, or afternoon. Aye, ta-ra.